Well, hey everybody, and welcome. Glad you're here. This is always the most fun we have every month. It's just great seeing families get together and all the hope and the energy after all the work and the time that's been put in. We acknowledge we've got some guests here. I think we have Warren Barner from ACC. Where'd you go? There you are. Warner, I said, if y'all give him a hand, if it weren't for the partnership we have with Arkansas Community Corrections, this couldn't happen. And their willingness to sacrifice and to make the guys available gives us the opportunity to be successful. Exodus is about change. A lot of people question, particularly when it comes to felons or other people that have maybe more serious behavioral issues, is it possible for them to change? Can they actually make a significant difference in their behavior and become law-abiding citizens? And my response to that is change is not only possible, it's inevitable. I'm nothing like I was when I was 20 or 25 or 30, and I'm not going to keep going down that line, but the fact of the matter is we're constantly changing. The question is, what's the direction we're moving in? Are we moving and changing out of hopeful expectation or out of depression and the assumption that nothing good can happen for us? Are we moving towards self and self-protection and self-interest? Are we moving out towards service and giving and doing the kinds of things that human beings were destined to do? What Exodus is about is raising up that challenge and say, you know what, you can change and you can get better. Question is, will you? Those of us who've been part of forming Exodus and developing it, and as all these guys know, I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for 40 years. Yeah, that's right, since before some of you were born. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in a ditch, to weigh 105 pounds, to have hepatitis C, to be sick, to not have a car, to not have a job, to not have family that you could call, to have nothing but me and my campsite. It's scary. And while our experiences are different, the truth is there's something that we all have in common in that, and that's being in a position where, because of your own decisions as well as life circumstances, you're at a place where you're helpless, and there's really nothing to turn to, nothing to hold on to, and to be able to move from that position to a position where you have your life back, where you have a job and a car and a wife and a family and 2.2 kids and a cat. It seems impossible. It did to me. It seems impossible. And part of what we're here to say is, no, it is not only possible. I did it, and let me tell you something, man. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Because there's nothing special about me. And there's nothing special about any of the instructors or the volunteers. All of us have to face the pain of life and the challenge of life. And some of us, I go so far as to say everybody in here has been in a place in their life at some point where they wondered if they could go on, where they had just about completely lost hope and questioned whether or not they'd be able to go any further. The difference between some of us is some of us got to that point and decided, no, there is no hope, and we took a dive. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And we began a lifestyle of trying to hide from that pain and avoid the feelings of failure and shame and so forth. The key to overcoming that is hope. But hope is not easily imparted, is it? You can look at somebody all day long and say, oh, you've got all these gifts and all these skills and all these abilities, and you can just tell them all the wonderful things about themselves, and they'll sit there and go, mm-hmm. Because what has to happen is you have to come to a conclusion in your own heart that tomorrow has potential and that you have potential in tomorrow. And, of course, as a faith-based organization, we think that begins as a relationship with God. But what we try to do in our presentation is go, I could tell you about God all day long, and I can tell you everything that I think and it won't do you a bit of good. You've got to make your own decisions and come to your own conclusions. Does God exist? Does he care about you? Does he have power? Will he share it with you? Under what circumstances? Those are the kinds of questions we ask at Exodus. Now, one of the things that I love more than anything, we don't tell the guys we're doing this. It just happens. Part of what we all need, and especially people who came from positions like we did, most of us have never had any real friends. I mean, we've had buds, but as far as an intimate person, intimate relationships that we could tell people the truth to, not many of us have had those kind of relationships. Well, guess what? They've experienced that now over and over and over and over again. With each other, with the volunteers, with the instructors. And I hope what our desire is that you've discovered you're not alone. We're all screwed up as Hogan's goat. Who is Hogan anyway? And we all can get better. And the truth is, as human beings, when we're working together at getting better is when we're at our best. But of course, the first thing you've got to be able to do is recognize that you're not there, that you need help, that you're scared, that you don't know if you can do this. And here's what I know. Every person I've ever met that is in the position that you're in now, right on the cusp of regaining their freedom, and right on the cusp of walking back out and being sober, is scared to death that they're going to cut their own throat.
That's right.
That's not real popular, huh? But my prayer for 40 years has been, God, please don't let me cut my own throat. What we want you to know is that you don't need to be afraid, that we're here, that we want to help, that others are here, and that we're going to walk beside you when it gets dark. And we're going to be there for you. And so you can step out of here. You can stay sober. You can get a job. You can reconcile with your family. You can have a life. And again, Mallory's got a life. Amanda's got a life. I've got a life. We can go all the way around the room of people here with stories where they have a life. If you're a graduate from the program or you are in recovery successfully, would you raise your hand? They all have lives. So celebrate, rejoice and be glad. Just you sound a little preachy here. But here's the thing. Deep down in your heart, here's what you need to take away from here. You can do this. You will do this. You can do this. You will do this. And we're going to be here. We've got post-release services that are continuing to expand. We want to assign somebody to support you and walk alongside you, help you find a job, and keep you moving forward. And so when you get out, when you get released, and you're trying to figure out what to do, don't think about it. You just need to come down here. We'll find you something to do. Okay? All right, so I'm going to pray for you, and then we're going to move on forward with this.